my God, it's hot today. How is it going, everybody? Thank you so very much for coming back. I am so glad you could be here. Today we're going to be doing a video discussing the differences between the 4th gen and the 5th gen Camaro. And I was trying to think of a way, how could I do this to where it wouldn't be like everybody else, because you guys know me, I like to do stuff different. I mean, I can stand here and talk about this has got red with white stripes, that's black with silvers. That's no fun. So I got thinking, I had a special guest before and you guys really liked him, so I thought I'd bring him back. And without further ado, let me go ahead and bring him in. Come on in, bud. Come on. How's it going? Wonderful, you? Oh, I'm doing fine. Welcome back to the channel. Well, thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here today. And like we were discussing, we're going to discuss the difference between the 4th gen and the 5th gen. What do you think about that? That'd be fun. I think it'll be a really cool, fun video to do. Yeah, I think it'd be a really cool, fun video to do too. But before we do that, we need to introduce ourselves because we have a lot of new people out there. We're now up to over 1,400 subscribers. No way. Yeah, I know, right? 1,400. No way. So, you guys that don't know who I am, my name is Pete. I'm Repeat. And the channel name is Camaro Time. So without further ado, I now turn it over to Repeat and let him tell you the differences between tell you what's going on with the 4th gen Camaro. So I now turn it over to you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like again, I'm so glad to be here. Now with that said, let's get the camera in and I can show you what's going on. All right, here we go. The heartbeat of the beast. Now this really isn't the beast, it is a beast. Now you have to ignore the little red box there. That's my MSD ignition and the strut tower brace. But outside of that, you can't tell anything's been done to this car. Still has the factory exhaust manifolds on it because I can't find any hook headers that will allow me to have the factory smog hookup. And I really want that because here in North Carolina, they're kind of funny about it. I mean, I could get by with deleting it, but I really don't want to do that because it makes the car smell like it's not burning all the fluid and just a few other odd ends. So I really don't want to do that. But what we have, the technical side of this information is a 5.7 liter LT1 350, which came out, well, I shouldn't say came out. It came over from the Corvette. This is the first year for this particular engine being in the Camaro, and they'll produce it for a couple more years and then they'll go over to the LS1. That's a whole different story. And what we have is a iron block with aluminum heads. Like I said, it's a 5.7 liter 350. It makes 275 horsepower at 5,000 RPM. Yeah, I know, it's a killer, right? It's bad to the bone for those days. I mean, outside of the Corvette, nothing American could touch it. But that's a whole different story, you know, the whole muscle car, pony car thing. And that averages out to roughly 48 horsepower per cubic inch. So that's pretty cool. It's not far off of that one. That one was 53 1/4, I think it was. This one's 48. So that's not bad. Not bad at all. Weight and all that good stuff. And since I mentioned it, the torque is 325 foot-pounds at 2,400 RPM. So the torque comes in relatively low and it pulls really hard from there all the way up the red line. The weight of this thing is 3,500 pounds. And with me in it, that puts it at 3,700 pounds, which is about the weight of that car with nobody in it. You have to forgive the extra noise. Dadgum mosquitoes are swarming out here. I'm trying to swat at them. Okay, now like I said, the weight is 3,500 pounds. It's got the factory rear end gears, which are 323s. I have not changed those over. I've been thinking about going to 373s to give it a little bit more oomph down low. But if I do that, I will sacrifice a little bit at the top end. It has the 4-speed automatic, which is 3 forward gears and overdrive to make highway driving really fun and not be at high RPM. I can run 70, 80 mile an hour easily in this car at 2,000 RPM, 2,100 RPM all day long. It's just really, it's just a really well-rounded car. Now 0 to 60, and these numbers are coming from Road and Track and Car and Driver like that car did. 0 to 60 is 5.6 seconds. Red line comes in relatively quick at 5,750 RPM. Now, you think, oh, that's kind of low. But what that helps you do with the gearing and everything that's in this car and the weight and all that stuff and where the actual horsepower kicks in on this car, it makes this car get up and move. Because the quarter mile, got mosquito. The quarter mile time is 14 seconds flat at 99 miles an hour. Now this car will run faster than that. I've got time slips to prove it somewhere in the house in a box where we moved from our other house. But I have several time slips showing that it will go faster, but that's because of the mods that I have done to it. The wheelbase on this car is 101 inches. 11 inches shorter than that one, although it doesn't look like it. The tires on this up front are 245, 50, 16s all the way around. It has the square setup. In other words, the tires on the back are the same as the tires on the front, which makes it really easy whenever you're working with it, because if your tires are wearing out on the front, you put those tires on the back and buy you new tires for the front, or vice versa, whatever you need to do. It has the solid rear axles. Well, I should say, let's just stick with that, because all it is an axle going in from this side and an axle going in from the other side, and they meet in the middle. If you're old school, solid axle means one axle. Well, this one really has two axles, but they are solid, one per side. Okay? The brakes are four-wheel disc brakes, single piston. Okay, single piston, and it really stopped pretty good. I mean, it was ahead of its time for braking and horsepower and all that when this car come out. I mean, it's a long, long way from being this car in those aspects. But for the day, it was all cutting edge. The price, the base price for this car starts at $19,812 for a 1993 Camaro, which is not that bad. But if you go back to the days and look up the inflation rates and all that, it's pretty much the same as this. You know, the price differences with the wage that people were making back then and everything. So let's start back at the back since we're outside the car, and then we'll go to the inside and just talk about the amenities. Now, if you look at this car, it has a huge rear window, which helps greatly in visibility, you know, seeing out your back mirror, your rear view mirror, and backing up and all that. But mine's tinted. I didn't go as dark as I normally do. I normally go 5% in the back. But with this car being so big and so low and everything, and it's already a little difficult to see out of anyway, I only went 32, and it was perfect for this car. But like I said, it's got a huge, huge back end on this thing. God dang, mosquitoes. And it goes almost edge to edge. And you'll see the difference between this and that when we get to that one. Or when he takes you for the walk around for that one. But when you lift it up, huge opening. I mean, it's big, it's gigantic. And it goes, like I said, from side to side. But with that said, there's really no storage in this thing. You've got a couple cubic feet up there, I forgot the exact amount, to maybe lay one or two suitcases side by side if you can get them to fit, which in this case I can't because I have the amps. And so what I have to do if I ever use this for travels, I just have to take my clothes, leave them on a hanger, and lay across there. And then if I have a suitcase or two, I can put it down in here. But that's a problem too. But there is a little bit of cargo space in this. It's not, I wouldn't call it ample by any means, but these cars are not made to be delivery cars or cargo cars or anything like that. They are made to do one thing, haul one thing, and it does that one thing very well. Haul butt. And it does. It really does a wonderful job. There's been a few people that's rode with me in this car, and they have been absolutely amazed at how this car runs and pulls. I mean, and here's the thing about this car. Parts, oh my God. And price. These cars have come down so much in price to where it is so easy to get one now. I mean, you have to be careful and look for one that hasn't been dogged and all that stuff, rode hard and put up wet. But these cars are so affordable now. It is ridiculous. And as long as you don't get the 93, if you get like a 94 up, parts are widely available, and they're interchangeable from one year to the other, you know, generally speaking. Most of the parts that will fit on a 94 will fit on a 97, and so on and so forth. But that's pretty much it for the outside, so let's go to the inside. Okay, here we are inside the Z28, the 1993 model. And let's talk over the amenities outside of the mosquitoes. It comes with the high back, bolstered cloth seats, two-tone cloth seats. It came with AM/FM cassette player, the AC Delco Bose edition. With it being the Z28, you got the Performance audio, which included Bose speakers in the sides and the Bose sub in the back. But I have since changed out that as well as I did the speakers. It has the rear defroster. The cloth interior has AC or air conditioning. It has the dual side mirrors. Has 6-way power driver's seat, and I'll show you that right here. It has the adjusters right there for the six-way adjustable seats, and it comes standard with the fog lights as part of the Z28 package. Now, sitting in this car is very comfortable. Like I said, you sit down really low. You do. It's almost like the old Fiero days, if you remember them. You're practically sitting on the ground. But when you're in this car, there's plenty of room. There's plenty of elbow room. You know, you're not. If I put my arm on the center console, I'm not touching the driver next to. I mean, the passenger next to me. You can actually fit, if you slide the seats up and not drive like I do with the seat back. You can actually fit 4 people in this. Now, I wouldn't call it big people, you know, not 4 or 6 foot people, but you can fit 4 people in this car very comfortably. And I guess because of how airy and open it is back there, it makes it not feel as confined or restrained or like you're in a smaller car. It feels like you are in a large car when you're in this Camaro. And field of view, I don't have any complaints about it. I mean, I can see out of this car actually better than, get out of here, mosquito. I can see out of this car better than I can the red car. I mean, if you look how huge this window is, and the door itself, oh God. But I mean, you can throw your arm up here, no problems. Where in that car, your arm feels like it's way up here. Huge windshield. And then again, the large window over there and the big window in the back. But it comes, like I said, with the 4-speed auto. You got first, second, and drive. And then you have the overdrive for highway cruising speed and everything. And it's just, you know, it's just a very well-rounded vehicle. But that's what this particular vehicle has. Now we'll get back out and turn it back over to Pete, and we'll get this wrapped up here in just a minute. Alright, he started with the engine bay, so I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to start with the exterior. As you can tell, this is a very bright red. It's called Victory Red. And of course, if you drive a Chevrolet Camaro, you're going to be victorious at all times, right? Now this happens to be a 2012 2SS RS Camaro. And I'm going to walk you around and explain the differences between the 2SS and the 2SS with the RS option. Now the RS option is an appearance package. That's basically all it is. The 2SS and the 1SS gets you the V8. And we'll go over all that in a minute. But the 2SS RS option package gets you the rally stripes. It gets you the red badges. If this was a normal SS, it would have white badges instead of red, and it also has them on the back. I'll show you that real quick. Rally straps on the back, and the red SS there. Okay? And of course, like I said, the rally stripes. Now, if this is the V6 model, if you got the RS option package, you get the rear spoiler. But this is not a V6. This is the, SS option, which also gets you the 20-inch 5-spoke wheels. But the main difference between the 1SS and the 2SS is the fact that the 2SS comes standard with the sunroof, the leather interior, and the premium sound system. Outside of that, the 1SS and 2SS are about the same until you get up into the later models like the late 5th gen refreshes and the 6th gen. Then stuff changes, like, you know, lane blind spot awareness and all that stuff. But let's get the hood open on this thing and we'll get to that. Now, one other option, now that I've got the hood open, that I forgot to mention, but I want to go ahead and do it, and this is the difference between the 2SS and the RS. Okay, when you get the 2SS with the RS options, you also get this color matching molding right here, and of course the color matched antenna. Well, let's get on to the engine bay. I've done a few upgrades to this, and I'll explain them real quick. These will not be like on your car, you know. I have the strut tower brace on mine, which I just recently painted. I have the cold air intake that I added, and I also recently painted that. I have my engine cover that I've painted, and I also have the Elite Engineering catch can. Now, all of these are just add-ons and personalization pieces and everything to make my car a little different than everybody else's. You may want to check into it. Oh yeah, I also added the Flowmaster shorty headers. And the exhaust system is not factory either. I have what's called pipe bomb, mufflers, and exhaust system on this. Cat back, up from the cats all the way out the back. But outside of that, it's pretty standard. And let's go over the performance numbers and all that, because I know that's what you're waiting for. This is an LS3 6.2 liter. So I got aluminum block and aluminum heads. It's backed by a 6-speed Tremec manual transmission. Now, this particular 2012 model makes 426 horsepower at 5,900 RPM, which is it makes the power from mid-range up is what it's telling you. Whereas that car makes it from low numbers all the way up. This one really kicks in and starts breathing midway all the way up. All right, with that, it comes down to averages at 400, with it being a 6.2 liter and a V8, each cylinder is producing roughly 53.25 horsepower. That's not bad. I mean, it's a good sized little small block, but that is not bad. 53.25. Now, it makes 420 foot-pounds of torque at 4,600 RPM. Now, you got 1,300 RPM between max horsepower and max torque. Why is that important? Well, at 4,600 RPM, your car is going to be pulling as hard as it can pull. It won't pull any harder after that. Sure, you might have more horsepower, but it's not going to pull harder. This particular vehicle, like I said, without me in it, being a 2012 2SS RS Camaro, weighs 3,860 pounds. Now, you throw my big old heavy butt in there, that puts it just a tick over 4,000 pounds. 2 tons, for those of you trying to do the math. Just over 2 tons. Now, the rear end gears, like I said, this is backed by a 6-speed manual transmission. We'll go over that again in a minute. But the gears that are driving these tires and wheels are 345s. It does 0 to 60 in stock form 5 seconds. 5 seconds flat. Now, don't quote me on those numbers. Don't send me messages saying, oh, you're wrong, it's this, this, and that. These numbers are going by Road and Track and Motor Trend, okay? This is their numbers. I've done 0 to 60 pulls, and the best I could get it is 5.2, 5.3 on average. Now, red line on this particular car is 6,200 RPM. Quarter mile time, again, these numbers are per Road and Track and Motor Trend. 1311 at 111 miles an hour. Pretty good for a 2-ton car, right? I mean, I think that's pretty good. That's not far off of the Hellcat. I hate it when people do that, but I've got to so you'll understand. That's not too far off of the Hellcat numbers, which the Hellcat weighs more than this also, but that's why it needs the supercharger to get it moving down the road. Now this particular Camaro, this being a 5th gen Camaro, the wheelbase on this is 112 inches. Front to back, 112 inches. The front tires are 245 45/20s, and the rear tires are 275 40/20s. Pretty good sized tires. Pretty good, especially when you go to buy them and you buy name brand tires. It really gets up there then. Now, some people refer to this rear end in this car as an independent rear suspension. I really don't, I'm not going to call it an independent rear because it's not a true independent rear. The Corvette has a true independent rear because it still has axles coming out of each side of the rear end housing going over to each wheel, just like the black Z28 over there. The only difference between that and these are that has a axle housing, a rear end housing or rear end casing, whatever you want to call it, and it has the axles inside of the encasement. These have basically what's called a, for lack of a better term, and Mustang's already using it, just so you understand the difference, it's kind of like a live rear end. In other words, you got the rear end and the axles actually bolt to the outside of the housing and then over to your wheels, okay? So that's the main differences there. Now, to stop this thing, once you get it up to 111 miles an hour, which I've had this one considerably faster, you have 4-piston Brembo brakes up front. They're pretty good size, as you can tell. I mean, they're really, they stop this thing really well. People complain about them, and I'm like, why are you complaining? This is one of the top brake manufacturers on the planet. And I mean, what are you coming from? Corvettes, Ferraris and stuff to say these things don't stop? BS. I call BS on it. But anyhow, you have 2 piston calipers on the back, and what that means is there's a piston on your calipers that push out against the brake pads, against the rotors, okay? It pushes out. And with with the front being 4-piston, that means there's 2 pistons on each side pushing the brake pads against the rotor. And with the back being 2 pistons, there'll be 1 piston on each side pushing against it. And that pretty much covers the outside of it and everything of this 2012. Now, how much do these cost? A basic 2SS Camaro will start at $35,000. Then you throw in the RS package and a few other goodies, and then it goes up. 35 grand for one of the best riding, best looking, best performing cars on the market. Not bad. But let's get inside and we'll go over some of those details. I'm gonna crank this up. Like I said, it's hot and humid today. Get the AC going. Now you might hear a few beeps and stuff here and there because the hood's open, the door's open, and all that good stuff. But here we go. Like I said, this is the 2SS, which gets you the leather seats and the SS stitching on the headrest and all that good stuff, and the white stitching on the seats and all that good feeling, good smelling stuff. But what the RS package gets you is heated seats. And if you look right here and right here, there's a button that you can push and you can see it lights up. That's high, that's low, and that's back off. And let me tell you, I didn't think that I would like these things, you know, living in the South. But during the wintertime, when you come out here and get in this car and hop in these leather seats, it is cold. Let me tell you, it's cold, and you can tell I'm sweating. I'm sorry. Oh well, nothing I can do about it. That's what the big man wants. But let's get back to the car. Oh, something also that you get with the 2SS is the heads-up display. That thing is really cool. And there's a You can change the lighting of it, and you can change the angle of it, and you can change the display. Let's see if I can get it on here for you. So like right there's the speedometer intact. Push it again, it takes it up, that's down. You can put it where you can see it really good. And then you push the center of this one, and it changes what's displayed. See, like right there is your directions, the temperature, and your miles per hour. I hope this is coming through. Press it again, and you get just the miles per hour. But I like being able to see my tach. That way I don't have to look down here to see what it's doing. I can just look right there. But that's another option it gets you. It gets you the daytime running lights, which is really cool. And I have mine set up. I didn't mention this a minute ago. I have mine set up with LED bulbs, and I also installed the little small wiring harness that you can get to make them stay on with the headlights, because if you don't, whenever the headlights come on, they go off. And I just think it looks better, and it actually provides a lot more lightness. It's safer also. But I'll take you out there again and show you that in just a second. And of course you get the remote keyless access, which is really cool. You know, with this being a straight drive, you don't get the remote start. It's against the law to have remote start on a straight drive from the factory. I mean, people can add it, and you know, it doesn't seem like it's that stupid or anything or that big of a deal. But think, a lot of people leave these cars in gear, and there's plenty of videos online of people doing this. They leave it in gear, and then they hit their remote start and everything, and the car takes off through the garage. And the next thing you got is an extra door in the side of your garage. So your garage is now a drive-through. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think, sweat, and talk at the same time. But that's pretty much it. Because oh, let me mention this. The RS option gets you P13W bulbs, which are a little brighter and everything, and the non-RS gets you the 5202 bulbs, and they're a lot more yellow looking, a lot dimmer and everything than the ones with the RS than the P13s. But let me get out and show you what I'm talking about, the lights. Okay, now they probably won't be on right now because the daytime driving lights come on when you put the car in gear. Okay, but I can make them come on by turning on the headlights. So let's show you what the lighting looks like on this car. All right, that brings on the parking lights. That brings on the daytime running lights and the halo lights. But the RS kit gets you this sought after halo ring. Now let's turn them on all the way. Then when you turn them all the way on, you get your headlight, your headlamp, the fog light, because I have that wiring harness in there, and you get the halo still on. So that's pretty cool. Switch this off real quick. Whew, ding, ding, ding. Put you in the holder. And turn the headlights off. Alrighty. Now, with all that said, that pretty much covers everything. Oh, you also get, like I said before, the sunroof with the 2SS. If you know somebody that has the pull at the Chevy dealership and everything, you can get the 1SS with it. No big deal, but it comes standard on the 2SS. RS, that is. And like I said, it comes with red badging. But with all that said, let's get back out of the car and we'll wrap this thing up. Oh my goodness, the humidity, guys. I am not kidding. Look at me, I'm soaking wet. It is hot, but that's a whole nother story. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it somewhat useful. Now you know the difference between the 4th gen and the 5th gen. If you've ever thought about which one you wanted and everything. And this just covers a few of the basic things about it. Now with that said, we're going to wrap this up now. What do you think? How'd you like it? I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very fun, informative video. You know, we pointed out a lot of differences. Yeah, I think we pointed out a lot of differences too. Now with that said, again, we'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming. It's greatly appreciated. It is. You guys get out there and enjoy your car. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks guys, thank you.